Maybe one day we should have a thing where we just talk about our bits that we do.
That's
and every day.
I can't, like, when I do bits, I know I'm doing the bit, but when somebody's like, hey, what's your bit? I can't ever think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I can't think of mine right now.
That's just like my current one.
I know.
I love to say no
one thing
when people
I do
ask me
is
for things.
If I get like if somebody says a 2-syllable word or at least 2-syllable word, I like to split it up and say I'll blank your blank.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Like
yeah.
I actually when I turned onto your street, I did it. I was like, I'll your. Like, didn't like that.
Thank you for that today, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that B-roll today. Let's go.
Give me my music.
This is the Always More podcast.
Hello, friends. How are you guys today? It's February 22nd, and welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there is always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we're talking about our Wreckin' Revs for the week, mystery games, false helmets, crazy meth adventures, and so much more. But first, I am your host, Harley Bean, and across from me, because we live in 2 different states now, there is Timoteo and Christoph.
Hello.
Yo.
Wow.
My besties for the resties.
Yeah. Look at you changing up the intro Chad bit to make it more welcoming and inviting. Hey, look at you.
It's just what I do.
Somebody's in a good mood today.
It's like you're a professional podcaster or something. Look at you.
Oh my God. I told Tim earlier I've been taking some classes. I'm just kidding.
She went to a podcasting class.
It was a webinar,
Hosted by other podcasters.
Who are more successful than I.
And they make you pay a small fee of only $100 per day for the class. And yeah, look.
It included Andrew Tate, but Harley literally just stood up and booed the entire time.
There's nothing
I
wrong.
ruined my camera. I threw too many drinks at it. Tomatoes.
Look, if it's your thing to do that kind of thing, that's fine. But I just, every time I see those kind of conventions and stuff, I'm like, pyramid scheme. Like look, I'm not saying you can't make money, but you're in it. You're in the system. You're in the triangle. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting the money, and God knows where it's going.
Right. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
That's the issue.
That's all I'm saying. You do you. You live your life how you want to, but
You do you, boo.
you do you, boo. Yeah.
Period. Okay, friends. So, first things first, we are going to get into our I was going to say first again, but that was not necessary. We're going to get into Wreckin' Rev. Tim, why don't you start us off then, since you're so passionate today?
Today, I'm starting off with an oldie from 1996. It's a movie called Bottle Rocket, and it is the first release, directorial debut of Wes Anderson. I decided to go back and watch his older stuff that I've never watched before, because I've been a fan of Wes Anderson for a while.
Thanks for the good movies.
He's done The Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonlight Kingdom, just recently The French Dispatch. He has a very unique style, and I was curious if his older films were the same way. Obviously, his first one was a little bit different. The one that came up to it was definitely like, okay, he feels comfortable doing this. But here's the synopsis for Bottle Rocket, his first film. Upon its release from a mental hospital following a nervous breakdown, the directionalist Anthony joins his friend Dignan, who seems far less sane than the former. Dignan has hatched a hair-brained scheme for an as-yet unspecified crime spree that somehow involves his former boss, the supposedly legendary Mr. Henry. With the help of their pathetic neighbor and pal Bob, Anthony and Dignan pull a job and hit the road, where Anthony finds love with motel maid Inez. When our boys finally hook up with Mr. Henry, the ensuing escapade turns out to be far from what anyone expected. So yeah, it's a fun little. It's almost like an indie film. I guess it kind of is with the first one. But it's. I'm surprised at how much I liked it. It came out in '96. It's very cute. It's very witty, and yeah, I don't want to spoil anything because it's really simple premise. But it
came
really
out
fun.
in 1996, and you don't want to spoil anything. I feel like at that point it's their fault.
True. True.
That came out before Harley was born.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think about it that way.
That came out in the late 1900s.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking of a way to like incorporate that somehow, so I really appreciate you for doing that.
There you go. That's it.
I was 5 when that came out.
Yeah.
You were about 5, 4. Yeah.
4 or 5, depending on what month it came out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun one. Wes Anderson, if you like his style and you like that kind of witty, quick humor, then I think you'll like it. Auto Rocket.
It's not one I've seen, but I'll check it out.
You should.
Oh, Rocket.
It's on this. Wow.
Actually, I was going to say, I will say I'll check it out, and then I won't check it out.
Right. That's what you do.
Yes.
I give you free access to my movies on a
Look,
server and shows and things that are great and fantastic and not just fantastic to me, but award-winning, Emmy-nominated winners with fantastic actors and actresses and great writers who are critically acclaimed. It's free for you on this server that I provide to you on your Apple TV, on your phone, completely free. You just sit there like a beached whale, not watching my stuff.
Wow.
I'll watch your Emmy and Oscar nominated movies when those award ceremonies stop being racist towards black people.
Okay, fair.
All right. Moving forward.
It's yours.
So mine, God,
I don't know how to go forward from here.
it's Black History Month, and you want me to watch an Oscar nominated? No. Out of here.
But Ted Lasso is so inclusive,
Got it.
isn't it, Harley?
It is. It's very good.
Ted Lasso might
And
be
the new
inclusive,
season
but
comes
the
out
Oscars are
soon.
not.
No.
Anyway, that's why I only watch the BET Awards. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was awful. So my rec and ref for the week is a YouTube show actually called Death Battle. I've been watching this one for a good minute, I think, like a pretty long while. Actually, one of my best friends, Danny O'Reilly. You've met Danny before.
You say one of your best friends?
One of them, yes.
What do you mean one
Wow.
of them?
Danny is one. You are one. Harley is one.
No, I am the.
Look, I'm not gonna rank.
THEE.
I'm not.
Capitalize.
I'm not gonna rank these friendships, but yes. So, anyways, anytime he comes over, we watch these shows, or anytime I go hang out with him.
He comes over?
Yeah, I have other friends, Tim. What about the times you've invited other people to your house and not even thought to invite me?
Fuck you. We definitely invited you guys many a times and did not come.
I'm not talking about the times you did invite me. I'm talking about the times you didn't invite me.
Fine, Chris. Keep going.
The good.
But I didn't claim to
I
be my
mean, the
best
bad
friends.
always outweighs the good.
Yeah,
The 1%.
the 1% of the time. So anyways, the idea of the show is to pit 2 or more fictional characters against each other in a simulated fight to the death,
Oh, yeah.
referred to as death battles. I've shown you a couple of these before.
Yeah.
So matchups are decided based on the popularity of request, debatability, entertainment, and theme. Show is hosted by original characters Wizard and Boomstick, which is
Fun.
they're funny. They're so it's produced by Rooster Teeth. It's like a YouTube group that they've done like Red versus Blue and all kinds of crazy stuff out there.
Yeah.
But Death Battle is probably one of my favorite things that they do because they take characters like Master Chief from Halo and Doom Guy from Doom and they make them fight.
That's
like,
cool.
Characters that are kind of similar but not like the exact same, like Mario versus Sonic.
Right.
The winner obviously is Sonic because he's got super speed.
It's like Aquaman versus Namor.
They actually did an Aquaman episode,
Yeah, I see, I knew it.
and it was Aquaman versus SpongeBob, I think.
Oh, okay. That's not the same, Chris. What are you talking about?
Hold on. I gotta find.
These
I
are
gotta find
not
it.
two equally compatible.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised. Hold on, give me a second. I'm looking for the winner of that fight. But they did like Goku versus Superman because everybody wants to see that fight.
Yeah.
And Superman came out on top.
Of course he did.
Yeah, because Superman is the best.
Of course.
But they take into account like all of the characters' biggest and smallest feats that they've done canonically in the shows and in the comic books. They did do Aquaman versus Namor, and Aquaman came out on top.
Yeah.
But they also did Aquaman versus SpongeBob, and that one was funny. But they take into account all their like, this is how the scientific community would rate this particular fight scene. Like he punched a mountain. it would take this amount of force to
okay,
break
gotcha.
down a mountain. And they go into the full science of it. They explain everything they do. Kool-Aid Man versus Macho Man. And Kool-Aid Man won.
Of course he did.
Yeah, it just kind of varies depending. Like Omni-Man versus Homelander. Omni-Man from Invincible and Homelander from The Boys.
Yeah.
Omni-Man wins.
Wait, Harley, do you know the Kool-Aid Man?
I do know the Kool-Aid Man.
Okay, you looked very...
Well, the answer should have been, oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
I know the Kool-Aid
I
Man.
didn't want to interrupt you.
They did like James Bond versus John Wick. James Bond wins. SpongeBob versus Aquaman. I found it. SpongeBob won.
Good for him.
Okay.
Good for him.
And they always have like a last line, like, I'll prove it to you. I'll be a real goofy goober.
I'm a coffee cowboy.
Yeah. So they do all kinds of fun stuff, and it's just a really cool thing. They animate the fight as well. So
cool.
sometimes they do it in 2D, sometimes they do it in 3D. If the characters are from like old video games, they might do it in 8-bit or 64-bit. They just kind of pick and play how they want to have the animated fight go on. But they break down their qualifications individually, like per character, and then they just throw them into the fight. And then you watch them fight it out, and then at the end, you know who the winner is, and they explain why they won. It's a really cool series.
Fun.
And you can request stuff because it's a YouTube channel, so you can request
Yeah.
fights, and the more requests they get, the more likely they are to do that fight.
Okay,
That's pretty groovy.
I'm in.
Let's check it out.
That's pretty fun.
Cool.
Death Battle on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Is that how he does it? I don't know how he does it.
Yeah!
Oh, it's a bit more bassy in the
Yeah.
It's based
He,
on
like,
Randy
breaks through a
Savage,
wall.
Macho Man, which is why they did it.
And yeah, he
Kool-Aid Man versus Macho Man, and obviously the Kool-Aid Man wins because he's
Obviously. breaks into
animated
walls
and just
yeah.
like smashes through a brick wall
Yeah.
versus a professional
Oh,
wrestler.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well,
Obviously.
lastly, I am recommending a video game. I'm big into like cozy gaming. I think that's a lot more fun than shooting games and etc. You know, whatever. It's a niche thing. I don't care. I'm not going to explain it. Anyways,
You don't
so
owe
there's
anybody an explanation.
yeah.
No, when you say cozy, do you mean like explain yourself? Like, what do you mean by that?
So cozy in the sense of like not actual cozy, not like fall time cozy, but like simple, easy, comforting games.
Yeah.
Like it
I guess
doesn't
would be the
take
best
too
way to
much
explain
to
it.
be really good at it.
What?
Like you don't have to be the best at it. You can just kind of play around and
Casual play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my cat is screaming at me.
Well,
Anyways,
the reason why I say it is I'm halfway. Like, I love games that are like adventure. Like, I'm playing Last of Us 2 right now. But I also have like Tropico, which is basically like a simulator city game. And it's just like,
Yeah.
there's no win or lose. You just
play.
yeah.
yeah, and it's like recently one of the bigger games is like Stardew Valley, which is like a farming simulator, which is like 8-bit kind of looking.
Yes.
Super like cozy game. I haven't played it yet, but you know, it's that kind of genre
Animal
of gaming.
Crossing style.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
precisely. This sort of falls into it, just because it doesn't take too much brain power, but it takes enough to where you have to solve cases because you're playing. The game is called, and it's like a whole series of gaming, but this specific one was called Nancy Drew: The Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon.
Now this is based
And
on the Nancy Drew books that we grew up as children reading.
Yes, they turned them into like video games.
Cool,
And I don't know
cool.
if you've ever played what is that other game? It's based off the Agatha Christie books. The
Murder on the
Murder-
Orient Express? Or Death on
No.
the Nile?
M-
Murder 1, 2,
Murder-
3?
No. Anyways, whatever. You know those like clicky games where you gotta click to go into the next room. You gotta click to open the thing. You gotta
Yeah.
and you can like collect little items and stuff. And it's basically you're solving this mystery as you're like playing throughout the game, and you got to go find the clues and like how to open the boxes and blah 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 blah. And this specific one is on a train, and you're going to try and solve the death of the owner of the train. And it's just really fun, and you get to like actually go to the place and be on the train and talk with other characters and see like kind of like a whodunit, I think is
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
It's always fun.
But yeah, it's very fun, and it's it's hard in the sense of trying to figure out like, what does this symbol mean and where do I get the
Right.
information for this symbol? But like easy enough to where you could definitely just look it up online and cheat a little bit. But it's really fun to do with other people because then you can get like Hunter and I were playing it and you can get like, oh, that's in that other room, or like, oh, I remember that symbol from there. And it's just really fun. So
Gotcha.
Nice.
yeah, 12 out of 10. I'm going to try and play more of those because I'm big into mystery in general.
Yeah.
I like all of those like books and stuff like that.
Have you ever
Love
heard?
'em.
Have you ever heard of Sherlock Holmes? Because if you like it, if you like mystery, you should check that out. I think those books would be pretty cool for you. I think there's like TV series and movies and stuff too. You might enjoy those. What? What?
Thank you, Chris. I never heard of him.
Yeah, it's a small author, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Right.
Very niche. Have
you heard of the guy?
Character. I don't know if you guys are aware. Actually, that saying "No shit, Sherlock" came from the Sherlock Holmes.
Whoa. I swear, you learn something new every day. I'm telling you.
You know what's a shame, guys, that we haven't got yet
What?
is
What?
when Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Sherlock Holmes in a modern adaptation of the
Right.
met with Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., who played Sherlock
Who
Holmes.
also played Sherlock, and neither one of them said "No shit, Sherlock."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame! What a
That
what
would
a waste!
have been a nice little nod.
What are we doing here? If
I feel like everyone in the theater would have been like, "Ah."
Right.
Like, I swear there was like one scene where we thought someone was going to say it.
yeah,
I feel like I recall that and everybody being like,
right.
lost opportunity.
Now-
What the frick?
Now we still have an opportunity to have Martin Freeman's character meet up with Doctor Strange. They're still in the MCU, so have them because he plays Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
something there. I'm not giving up hope.
They really did take both of those actors, didn't they?
Yeah.
They should be roommates. They should be
They said-
roommates.
Put them.
Oh, yes.
And they were roommates.
Sorry,
Well,
sidetrack.
No, that's a good thing to know. Okay, yeah. So that concludes our little Rick and Rev. We are now going to move into our next segment called Tim's.
Well, actually, despite their depiction in pop culture and in entertainment as wearing horned helmets, it's very unlikely that the Vikings wore any such things. It didn't happen, Chris.
What?
Stop using your imagery of Vikings in that way. It's false. Misinformation.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't thought about horned helmets for Vikings since we started watching The Last Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Now in my head, they all have braids.
Yep. So
Yeah.
there is no indication of horned helmets in any archaeological findings. According to the History Channel, however, death sites revealed that the majority of Viking soldiers either went bareheaded or wore leather helmets, which was a very common thing back in the day, leather helmets. This common,
That's all they had.
yeah, right. This common, though untrue picture of hulking warriors charging into combat while wearing horns is said to have originated in the 1800s when Swedish artist Gustav Malmströmstims used the idea in his works. Costumes with horn helmets were also used in some of Wagner's operas. So,
Oh, like the one from Looney Tunes.
yeah. They got that from an actual opera.
Yeah.
The opera didn't get it from Looney Tunes. It was the
Yes,
other
I'm aware.
one.
Just,
Okay. Just,
I feel like sometimes you think I'm dumb.
I'm just playing it. I know you know it. I promise.
The way you treat me
There's-
sometimes, Tim.
There's just so many like little cross things that are occurring today and lots of sarcasm.
It has to be.
It's
There
gonna
has-
get
Lots
worse.
of it.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's my well actually.
Dope.
That's pretty good. I really hate that though. I hate when history is wrong.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
The history's not wrong. It's our interpretation of
culture.
history, which happens
That-
very
yeah,
often.
That's what I mean. Like when people have taken history and made it wrong,
Oh,
I guess
absolutely.
is what I should have said.
Yeah.
that really grinds my gears.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time.
Didn't I say it was
Specifically to my peoples.
oh yeah, yeah,
Oh God.
yeah. People just take whatever they take pop culture references and they.
Which is
Think
why
it's
we
history.
need Black History Month.
Amen.
You know what? Screw it. I'm changing my Wreck and Rev to Black Panther 2. If you haven't seen Black Panther 2, I'm just kidding.
Okay, friends, we're going to go into our first break of this episode, and then we will be coming back with the craziest story you will probably hear in the next month or so.
Oh yeah.
Be on the edge of your seat for that one.
I can't wait.
Thank you all for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at AlwaysMorePod.
If you'd like to ask us a question for us to answer on the pod, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com, or you can call us on our Always More hotline and leave a voicemail question at 254-218-4042.
You can also follow all of our social medias individually and us, the Always More podcast. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to it.
Hello, friends, and we are back from the break. So, we are on our third type of new little segment theme that we're doing for our episodes,
Yes.
and today's is history. And Tim is going to be starting us off with a strong one, I bet. So go ahead, take it away.
All right, guys, now listen. If you're still here, don't go away. Okay, this is not your U.S. history class junior year of high school where the guy is just monotone, can't present a good story. Guys, not only do I
had
have
a good teacher.
no, I had a good teacher too.
So then what's the problem?
Well,
Some people
a
didn't.
lot of people didn't. A lot of people complained about history and like the way that it was taught to them.
Yeah.
We lucked out on a good middle school teacher. I had a decent high school teacher.
I had a really great high school teacher.
See? Well, did you have Mr. Pierce?
No,
Oh,
I
because you
had
went to
Mr.
Ellison.
Poe.
Okay. Did you know of Mr. Pierce?
I don't think he was there.
Okay.
Was Mr. Pierce
I
at
went-
Allison?
Yeah, he went to Ellison after we went to high school. Anyways, sorry, you don't know what we're talking about, guys. Anyways,
Fair enough.
my point in saying all this is that this story is going to be a wild one. So feel free to follow along. Feel free to look this guy up. But today, we are starting the delirious adventure and survival of Aimo Koivunen. The year
Yes.
is 1917, October 17th. Alastro in the Grand Duchy of Finland, also known as the Russian Empire at the time. Aimo Koivunen is born to Franz and Ann Koivunen. He is one out of 6 children. He is the oldest. And that's all I have about his early childhood. I literally looked for like a solid hour to find anything about his early childhood, and I could not find
What time period was this again?
it. He was born in 1917.
Oh, okay.
So this
okay.
is right after the Russian Revolution, if you know your history. And at this time, Finland, which is where he is part of the Russian Empire.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about life in Finland. There's some good backstory to the story. That you guys, trust me, if it sounds boring, just hold on. Just wait. It's good backstory. Just wait. Wait, Chris.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Finland, if you don't know, is a Nordic country in northern Europe that shares borders with Sweden to the west, Norway to the north, and Russia to the east. And it's very cold. It's cold.
Yeah,
Guys,
dude.
I don't know why it took me so long to realize, like, America is so much farther south than Europe. Like,
Because on the map, people make America way bigger than it really
right.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
like England is like somewhere in Canada. Like, it's that far up north. And like Texas is like equivalent to like northern Spain or something along those lines. No, southern Spain, something along those lines. It's crazy drastic. Anyways, so Finland is cold. In fact, the coldest temperatures in winter are from negative 31 degrees to negative 51 in Lampland and in eastern Finland. and it is -31 to -49 pretty much everywhere else.
That's horrible.
I hate that
Like
whole
devastating.
Like
What
why?
is it? What is it? You Gen Z kids say? I would simply pass away.
It's just like, why did civilization just go there? Like, really? Like, you couldn't just go down?
I understand like going there to get somewhere else, but people stop there and they're like, "Yes, this is good.
This is land. This
Let's
is home."
settle.
This is good."
Let's create civilization.
Okay, so Finnish sovereignty and violence at this point in time is quite important to note. The Finnish War, which ended in 1809, caused Finland to become known as the independent Grand Duchy of Finland and join the Russian Empire. However, Finland proclaimed its independence from Russia following the 1917 Russian Revolution. Sorry, I got that mixed up. During World War I. The Finnish Civil War split the young nation in 1918 for a short time to be reunited shortly after because of some, violence and warfare, as such happens.
Governmental stuff.
Right. So Finland briefly experimented with monarchy, but after a failed effort to crown Prince Frederick Charles of, is that Hesse as king?
I don't know. You're reading it to us.
It's right here, just right there. Look, man, you getting violent with
I
me
think
already.
Hess.
So after the failing of him being as a king, the country switched to a presidential republic in 1919. Yay! With K.J. Sberg being chosen as its first president. I guess I should pause here and acknowledge that I tried to find the pronunciations for a lot of these names, but I'm still going to fail them.
Oh yeah.
So many apologies, 1,000 apologies.
It's not Johnson and Jones and
Right.
Jackson, so
Right.
we're not used to it.
So in the early days of World War II, the Soviet Union, who was at the time in alliance with Germany and the Axis, launched the Winter War in November 30th, 1939, in an effort to annex Finland for its resources and geographical advantages.
Did that have anything to do with the Winter Soldier?
No.
Okay.
But I would like to note the trend that Russia just likes to invade countries all the time.
Oh, oof. Oof.
After 2 months of little success on the battlefield and significant losses in personnel and equipment, sounds familiar, huh?
Hey Tim, would you say that Russia is putting their nose in other people's business?
Chris.
That's bad. So after some losses in personnel and equipment, the Soviet Union put a temporary end to the Finnish Democratic Republic in late January of 1940 and recognized the, quote, genuine Finnish government, formed by Joseph Stalin, as the legitimate government, quote, legitimate government of Finland. However, just a few months later, the signing of the Moscow Peace Treaty on March 13th, 1940, put a stop to the combat. Finland had successfully fought its freedom, but it had given the Soviet Union 9% of its land. However, as one probably would be, Finland wasn't too happy about the land lost, and after Germany invaded the Soviet Union as a part of Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, hostilities resumed. The main objective of the continuation war was to retake the area the Soviets had taken less than a year earlier. So that's where we're at right now.
This land is my land. This land is my land, and I will fight you.
To be fair, it was
take
theirs.
back my land.
Now, I also wanted to say this before we went forward here. The Finnish, they were not Nazis. They were not. It's the whole like the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation going on here.
I feel like if your enemy is not the Nazis, you're wrong.
True, granted.
Yeah.
However, this served their cause, and they were able to use Germany as help to kill the Soviets.
I just imagine like some Finnish dude running around with a gun. I am taking advantage of this situation, but I do not agree politically or socioeconomically with this group.
Okay, so that brings us to our next part of the story, the continuation war. So this brings us back to our guy, Aimo. Aimo was a Finnish soldier who fought in the continuation war, fighting to regain parts of the country's homeland. So, by 1941, Finland had reclaimed the Karelian Isthmus and Ladonga Karelia, two concessions it had made to the Soviet Union after the Winter War. However, with the capture of East Karelia, including, oh God, here we go, Petrosavsk, yeah. The Finnish army continued the attack across the 1939...
Petrozavodsk.
Yeah. Sorry. The Finnish
It's very
army...
Slavic.
Very, very. It is Slavic.
This is where the Slavs are from.
The Finnish army continued the attack across the 1939 boundary and only stopped a few kilometers from Leningrad's center. So they had made advances past what was stolen from them and even into Russian land. It participated in besieging the city by cutting the northern supply routes and digging in until 1944. So during this time, Finnish soldiers were essentially holding on to land area gained and protecting Finland from any further Russian advances. This included any advances taken during the Nordic winter, which is where we bring up Aimo once again. On March 18th, 1944, there was a lot of snow in Lapland, an area currently occupied by Soviet forces. Aimo and other Finnish soldiers were put on ski patrol. So, guys, mind you, it's cold.
Right.
There's a lot of snow.
Like -50 cold.
Yes.
And the only way to move is on skis.
Simply pass away.
That's where we are, okay? Now, I don't know if you know this, but moving around on skis is not easy. Like going downhill, sure, but like just going across snow in general, it's not easy. Like they have an Olympic sport for it, and it's like the stupidest thing ever. Like it's hard. It's not easy. So they were on ski patrol, and it was a long distance one in a hard climate with a focus on survival. It's like, just go out there and survive, guys. And after 3 days in their patrol and deep behind enemy lines, the Soviets ambushed them. As the ambush ensued, the Finnish soldiers scrambled for safety. In a desperate attempt to escape with their lives, the Finnish soldiers fled on skis, turning the ambush into a battle for survival. So, bad situation, being chased by the Soviets.
This sounds like a really fake cartoon.
It
Guys-
sounds like something you would see as an intro to a James Bond movie.
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I am completely baffled how they have not made this into a movie yet. You're going to find out why. As they fled, the Finnish skiers were guided through the thick forest with untracked snow by Aimo. So basically what he had to do, he put himself in the lead because it's hard to move around in the snow, but it's a lot easier if there's tracks. Well, someone's got to make the tracks. So he took it upon himself to be in the front in the lead to do the hard, heavy work of cutting up the tracks for
everybody else to follow behind.
Right. So the other soldiers depended on him to cut the tracks for them to guide over. Koivunen became immediately exhausted from the extensive work until he recalled the pill package in his pocket. Now, we're going to take a quick detour here to talk about crystal meth in World War II.
Whoa. Completely left field.
All right, buckle up, Chris. Here we go.
All right, let's do this.
Now, before we move forward, there's something you need to know regarding Pervitin and crystal meth in World War II. During World War II, several nations conducted research on stimulants, including methamphetamine and amphetamine. God, I can't say words today. Amphetamine. Akira Ogata, a Japanese scientist, had devised a more efficient method of producing meth in 1919. He accomplished this by turning ephedrine into crystals using phosphorus and iodine, which resulted in the creation of crystal meth.
Heisenberg over here.
Exactly. He is the father. He's it.
What are you known for? Oh, I brought peace to my country. What about you? I invented meth.
Okay, so as you can imagine, the prolonged, relentless fighting during World War II, or any war for that matter, caused troops' physical and mental health to suffer, which negatively impacted company morale, which created this more circle of, just death and suicide and all that stuff. I'll show you all over the place. Okay, here we go. All of these issues were, quote, resolved by meth. Of course, a known effect of methamphetamine is increased energy, focus, and reduction in fatigue.
That is true. Those are all side effects of meth.
You're missing a few other side effects here, but yeah, those will do it.
Those are the short-term side effects.
And keep in mind, we're not calling them benefits. We're calling them side effects.
Right. So around this time, Pervitin pills containing methamphetamine were produced by the German pharmaceutical firm Temmler. It offered the tablets to service personnel as a way to improve their endurance and lessen weariness. The Nazis saw that soldiers could battle nonstop while remaining awake. hey guys, you know what? You're on the battle 24/7, and I know you're tired and exhausted. Take these pills. It'll make everything better. And just
when was Captain America written? Hold on, I gotta check this out.
when was he made? Like in the 40s.
I know in the 40s, but like, was it right before this or right after this?
Well, I mean, I don't know. 1919 is when the Japanese scientists made crystal meth, and that was at the tail end of World War I, if not the end of it, right?
First appearance, 1941.
Sorry.
So,
wait a second. Are you saying what I think you're going to say?
I'm saying that either meth was designed after the super soldier serum, or the super soldier serum is basically meth.
We got to figure this out.
And if this was invented in 1919, then I think we can safely say that the super soldier serum is meth. It's crystal meth.
Chris, wait till you hear the rest of the story.
It's liquefied crystal meth.
Wait till you hear the rest of the story. This actually might be the idea that whoever invented him was Stan Lee, no, it has so much further back than that. It's before Stan Lee. Whoever made this might have had Aimo in mind. Okay, so here we go. Back to the story. So the pills that were in Aimo's pocket were Pervitin, meth. With each man carrying different supplies, Aimo carried the whole troop supplies of Pervitin, which was about 30 pills. So, like, each man in the troop carried, I don't know why they did it this way, but, like, one guy would carry all the medical supplies, and the other guy carried some other thing. And Aimo just so happened to carry all of the Pervitin, all the meth. So, here we go, guys. As he was unable to stop to open the bottle, because, you know, being chased by Nazis, or not by Nazis, by Soviets, and his heavy mittens made it impossible for him to take a single medication, he decided to just swallow the full vial. 30 pills in a last-ditch effort to survive, and this is where the weird shit starts to happen.
This is it. Not before the 30 pills of meth. Or when he decided to take 30 meth pills. Now it starts.
Koivunen started skiing significantly faster right away.
I would imagine so.
Guys, do you see Aimo? He's going really fast now. We gotta go.
I could just imagine somebody like off in the distance, like probably seeing him going down these slopes, and he's like, "Wow, he should join like the Olympics or something."
No, Harley. He was going up slopes. He was skiing up the mountain at this point. Same speed as going down, just up.
So,
guys, stop, guys, hey, guys. Gravity doesn't work.
After 30 pills, it just stops.
When you take 29, gravity's there, but after 30, oh man, gravity stops. Doesn't even work. Look, I can fly. Are you guys flying? I feel like we're all flying right now.
Okay. So he's going faster, and his team originally kept up with him. Like they're just motivated. And obviously, he's making it easier for them. Again, it's like going behind an 18-wheeler at this point. It's like you're in the, what do you call it? The tailwind or whatever it's called.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, and also he was going so fast that the Soviets basically were just left behind in the dust. Like they were just like on it, and they were going fast, and they just like, all right, we give up. They gave up.
So he didn't share any of these pills with the rest
they were
of his
running
team?
for their lives. They're getting shot at. They're being chased. And so
he's like, look, our best chance of survival is for me to take all the drugs. And you guys to take none of the drugs, but follow me. Somebody's got to be sober. It might as well be the rest of you.
Right. Okay. Buckle up. Don't look at this, Chris. I want you to react.
If I'm going to die, I don't want to feel it. Also, I don't want to know until 6 hours later.
Okay, so the Soviets were forced to retreat. Then Koivunen's eyesight became foggy, and he passed out.
As one does.
However,
He just like drops.
after 30 pills of meth.
well, you would think, Harley, that he dropped, but no, he just blacked out and
he's
just kept going.
Unconscious.
So Koivunen continued to slash through the snow, even in a blackout state. The following day, Koivunen awoke from his state to the realization that he had traveled 62 miles.
Dude.
Also, he was completely alone.
Oh.
Man, guys, we made such great time. Guys. Guys. Hey, y'all still there?
This brings us to day 2. Though he regained consciousness, he was very much still under the influence of the 30 meth pills he took.
That shit does not leave your system.
And unfortunately for Aimo, all of his food supplies and ammunition were carried by the other members of his troop that he deliriously left behind.
At least I got chicken. Oh.
Do I at least have more meth pills? No, it was gone. Everything is gone.
All of them.
All he had was his skis and his crazy meth-induced body. That's basically what it came down to. Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's all you need. Some pair of skis and
Some skis
And 30
some
meth pills.
Skis and meth, that's all you need.
So, all right, where are we at? God. All that he had was his skis and his meth-induced body. As he continued on, he saw a camp that he assumed belonged to his left-behind Finnish soldiers.
no.
But nope, it was the Russians again. He ran into some more Russians.
Was it the same Russians or was it
Different Russians.
I would assume different Russians,
Yeah,
right?
different Russians.
Like he ran, he was like, all right, I'm getting away from these Russians. Blacked out, woke up and was like, God damn it, more Russians.
And here's the thing. He buzzed out of there again. He outpaced the Soviets and basically just ran off into the wilderness, outpacing the
What
Soviets
is he, the
once
gingerbread man?
All right. So a few days later, much to his relief, Aimo found a small... Guys, I said that really quickly. A few days later, to his relief, he found a small wooden cabin in the woods. With no one inside, he went in, lit a fire, and found some long-needed sleep. Nice, right?
Yeah, dude.
Now,
You got to sleep it off at that point.
yeah, right. This is until he was awoken to the cabin completely ablaze. Like
From the Russians.
no, he just
From the fire that his meth-induced mind decided to start.
the whole cabin is on fire.
Look, Harley, I don't know if you've ever done meth, but let me explain this to you.
No, Chris, I've never done
When
meth.
you're on meth, you should probably avoid fire. Just don't. For no reason
Oh, he left
should
the
you.
fire going when he went to
Yeah.
sleep?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So it just yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't.
So now Harley,
Well, don't light a fire inside of a wooden cabin.
Right.
Let's start there.
The slogan for meth nowadays is meth, not even once. This man did it 30th.
one sitting.
30th. He did 30th at once. 30th.
Harley, let me ask you this: what would you do in the situation? The thing is around you, and it's the cabin's on fire. What would you do here?
Go back to bed.
Well, that's
Simply
funny
pass
because
away.
at this point, a normal person would leave the premises quickly. However, Aimo is no ordinary man, and he is definitely not down from his high. So instead of leaving the burning cabin, he just, quote, scooched back a little bit and went back to sleep until the cabin collapsed.
I'm trying to figure out how the math on meth works. So you take 30 pills. Does your body like automatically assume 1 pill per day and you're just high for 30 days? Or like,
For a month.
I wonder if it's like alcohol, because like your liver can only process so much alcohol per hour.
so it's just like in your body just chilling like, what up, I'm meth. And your body's like, all right, I can only let a little bit out at
Exactly.
a time. Like, you're going to have to deal, dude.
Okay. So
So it collapsed.
it collapsed around him.
And then he woke up. And he's like, all right, we're good to go.
I'm betting he didn't wake up until he was cold. Like he realized like,
Oh, absolutely.
oh, the cabin I was in is no longer here, and now I'm cold. Guess I gotta wake up.
He like wakes up and he's like, who put the fire out?
And also, who put the house out? Also, where are my pants?
Better question. Where am I?
Brushed off a log. What is this? After awakening from his fiery slumber and apparently no injuries, Aimo continued on his way back to his friendly territory. So, yeah, no injuries, apparently.
This dude is like...
When you're on meth, you're immortal. I'm trying to tell you guys. You're not listening to me. When you're on meth, nothing can hurt you ever. So if you're about to die, take a bunch of meth and just stay high for the rest of your life. Nothing will ever go wrong.
Does this also apply to getting your feelings hurt?
Yes, it does. Because you will be out of your right mind.
God.
You'd feel nothing.
You feel nothing. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so he got up and he continued on his way back to friendly territory. At one point, he saw and decided to use the North Star as a point of reference towards home, which, I mean, you guys know that, right? Like,
at one point, he's been out there for days, has no idea where he is. He's just blindly walking around looking for cabins and stuff. And then he's like, oh, North Star. That makes sense.
I should go that way.
I'll follow the North Star.
It's not even like the North Star. He's just imagining it in his head.
Harley, you should stop talking because you're ruining the story. The problem that came to be from this is that his North Star was not only a North Star, it wasn't even a star.
It was daytime. It was daytime. He was following the sun.
It was a light from another cabin.
Dude.
Which he also burned down.
Because there was Russians inside.
So, as he was following his star, he stumbled across an abandoned German camp. So he sees the light and he's still going towards it. But in that process, he comes by an abandoned German camp. Now, again, reminder, the Germans are his technically allies. So
I'm just imagining this going bad.
Just even on meth, he's like, I still don't agree. I'm using this camp for my own survival, but I disagree with the ability of the Germans to do what they're doing.
Even under the influence.
As he was leaving the camp, the German camp, he triggered a landmine with his right foot. And it exploded.
No. He lived.
His right foot is perfectly fine. No damage.
No.
He's on meth. I told you. He's fine.
The Nazis, they decided to set up some booby traps when they were leaving their camp. And so the explosion was later described as, quote, a mix of grated flesh and bone splinters. As, you know, what a landmine is supposed to do.
But not his.
Well, no, it's talking about his. Like, it definitely hurt him. He's injured here, finally.
He took damage.
He took damage.
Got you.
But does he feel the damage?
Well,
no.
he somehow survived the explosion and the fire that followed.
Fire?
I don't know what, like, there's stuff around him, but there's a fire, and he survived that too. So Aimo dragged his bloodied, methamphetamine-fueled body into a ditch after being blasted off of his skis and waited for assistance. So he's still in the German camp, got his leg basically blown off in a way, and just goes into a ditch.
And waits for assistance?
That's what he says.
As if he's expecting it to come.
It was -4 degrees Fahrenheit. However, he was still high on meth and somehow managed to endure the frigid weather in the ditch for a full week while he waited for the assistance he believed would arrive.
No, because at that point, if you're experiencing -50, -4 is warm.
I guess. Yeah.
So he's probably just like,
oh, all right,
Harley,
I'm good now.
Your body is not meant to be that cold at any point in time.
Well, of course not.
-4 is definitely better than -50, but it's still fatal.
Yeah. He's probably experiencing hypothermia.
100% he's experiencing hypothermia. He just can't tell.
So, after an unknown amount of days without eating, he slowly became conscious of his tremendous hunger as he lay buried in the snow. Like, about a week later.
Now he's got the munchies.
Now he's got the munchies.
I mean, that's not how meth works, but for all intents and purposes, he's got the munchies.
He only managed to discover pine nuts and a Siberian jaybird, which he quickly caught with his own hands and devoured uncooked.
What?
Yeah.
He's still high on meth.
Yes, 1,000%.
Gotcha.
What I want to know is, I didn't see this in the story anywhere that I looked. Is like, did the bird jay just come towards him and he grabbed it, or did he like,
hop along to find it? I mean, maybe he like lured it with the pine nuts.
Oh, maybe.
He had been there for a week at that point, so maybe the bird was like, "Hey, I think this guy is dead," and was like went to check on him.
Trying to poke on his leg.
And he was just like, "Nah."
Yeah, it might have been trying to like pick at him, and he was like, "Not today," and like, and I just imagine like all the feathers.
He hit it with the Uno reverse.
He was his own bait. All right. As time went on, Aimo faced the reality that the Germans from the camp would not return. So he stood up and he skied onwards.
Where'd he get skis?
It's still the skis. I guess he put them back together or whatnot after the explosion, but he put them back on. And
I'm imagining this guy sitting in a ditch for a week. Like, somebody's definitely coming. Oh, nobody's coming? All right. Just dust myself off and get going again, I guess. Skiing.
I want to understand his like mentality or like his
there is
thought
none.
process.
You have to be on meth.
Well, yeah, there's your first thing. But like, I just imagine him sitting there, and probably the week that has passed has not been a week in his mind.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's either been eternity or it's flown by in like 12 hours.
Or both.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or both.
And so I imagine him like sitting there and being like, well, shit. And then just like gets up.
About time to
and
hit
then
the old
just
dusty trail.
Just dusts himself off and gets on going.
It's like Loki or like whoever, like trapped in like one of the when they get trapped in the what is it zone, like what Doctor Strange puts him in.
Oh, he just dropped him in the sling ring.
He's just falling for
I've
30
been
minutes.
falling for 30 minutes.
So, yeah, Aimo faced the reality. Germans aren't coming. They're not coming back to rescue him. So he decides to, you know what? I want to get up, pull myself up on its bootstraps, and move on. So sometime after, he was finally found by some Finnish soldiers, lying in the snow, talking nonstop and confused.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So as they were carrying Aimo away towards the hospital, another soldier close to him set off another hidden landmine.
Wow.
The rescue team was unable to take both guys at once. Aimo was instructed to stay there till they came back to retrieve him.
Are you kidding me?
This guy's on meth. We should probably leave him behind and take the other guy first. We'll come back for you, buddy.
Well, I imagine in that situation, because Aimo is on meth, the damage that he had withstood for how many weeks has it been? Like a week and some change at this point?
Yeah.
They're like, he'll live. I think he's going to be good.
I think they were probably like, he's going to die. Like, we should just leave him and try to save who we can.
Yeah. Well, it'll please you both that a few days later, he was still alive.
I can imagine.
The unstoppable Koivunen was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Now,
Rushed.
Now, before he was discovered, Aimo, this is kind of like the finale, guys. We're towards the end here. Before he was discovered, Aimo had traveled a startling 250 miles.
Dude.
On skis. In the snow.
Jesus.
His heart rate was registered as 200 beats per minute when he arrived at the hospital. This is when he arrived at the hospital. This is 2 weeks after.
So for 2 weeks, he's been probably at like 250, 260.
Oh, absolutely. And that is why he's probably survived.
I mean,
because his heart is like, we got you, buddy. We're going to keep it
His
pushing.
His heart is doing the drum solo from Black Parade.
In case you didn't know, listeners, the average like resting heart rate is 60 to 100 beats per minute. So far beyond the. The fact that he was alive and talking astounded the doctors. Due to the meth numbing his hunger, he had weighed in to be 94 pounds at his admittance and in need of immediate medical attention for his broken foot.
It's just broken.
Broken foot?
It's still there. It's just broken.
No way.
What happened to your foot?
Germans and their bad landmines.
Landmine.
Yeah, just a landmine.
Landmine. That's fine.
Later, Aimo claimed that he was virtually always having hallucinations and had no idea where he was when he dove into the ditch. Later, when talking about his drug-induced experience, he recounted being attacked by a wolverine and waking up to discover... Shoot, hold on, don't look at this. I gotta say this clearly. He recounted being attacked by a wolverine and waking up to discover himself ferociously stabbing a tree. I can say it's right.
What do you think I was doing? I was hunting wolverines with my uncle.
What's so funny about this is that he just woke up and was just stabbing a tree. It's like, what am I doing? I don't know, but I can't stop.
He was like, I was fighting for my life out here. The goddamn trees were after me.
It's the Ents. They're after me.
I was just about to say, it's the Ents. I know you can move. I read Lord of the Rings. He was in World War I too, right?
No, he was born in 1917.
Okay. I met Tolkien. I know you can move.
Excuse me, guys. That wasn't very professional of me. Aimo miraculously made a full recovery, went back to Finland, and started a family.
What?
Mika Koivunen, Aimo's son, claimed that his father rarely discussed what had occurred. But in 1977, in response to a local newspaper's competition call for wartime experiences, he penned a brief autobiography. He got second place.
Who got first? Who won? I don't care about Aimo anymore. I don't want to know anything else about this man. I want to know who won. What happened? Who was the winner?
I couldn't find it, to be honest. I looked.
Who went through more hell, even worse than like methamphetamine-induced survival?
I stepped on 2 landmines at once. And I caught 2 jaybirds.
I stabbed a waterfall. Aimo lived a long and healthy life afterwards until he passed away in 1989 at the age of 71.
Bet you he would have made it to like 90 if it weren't for the 30 pills of meth.
And that is the story of Aimo Koivunen. Sources for this meet Aimo Koivunen, the soldier who survived World War II thanks to accidentally overdosing on meth by Genevieve Carlton. Aimo Koivunen, Finland's drug-fueled super soldier by Lauren Dillon. And Aimo Koivunen, the crystal meth hero by Gareth Johnson.
You don't just get to say that.
Instead of Jukebox Hero, it's Crystal Meth Hero. They make a song.
Crystal Meth Hero.
Stars in his eyes.
Yeah, that's it, guys. There's your Aimo.
I wish I could have met that man. That's insane. But now I think we do need to cover who won first place next time.
I'll come back with a follow up.
This reminds me of that Mad Scotsman.
Oh,
the guy that took the broadsword into battle in World War II.
Yes.
There were some crazy World War II stories out there, man.
A lot of these stories I've been looking up are revolved around war. War makes you do stupid shit. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
God.
Pure survival.
Right. All right. Well, guys, that's a story.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is if you're about to die, take meth.
Kids don't do drugs.
And the survival instincts will kick in. Or lick a toad. Remember our last episode?
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, if you have access to a toad, do that first. For sure.
John, grab that toad. We need it. Stat.
We're getting out of here, guys. I found a toad.
Harley, take us out of this.
All right, friends. So that concludes our main segment for today. We truly hope you enjoyed that crazy story of Aimo. And now we will be moving into some other segments. But first, we're going into a break. Okay, friends, and we are back from our break. How did you like our little main segment?
That was freaking wild. That's
the part that got me through the whole thing. Like, I was laughing my ass off the whole time I was writing it. And it was at the very end when it's like the other guy got injured by a landmine and they just left him there. I was done. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Sir, come back.
Please.
I was also hurt by a landmine. I just want to go home.
My thing is, I
I'm
imagine
so
him being
cold.
more like, I understand. I respect that decision. Just leave me here.
Fair
I can
enough.
wait. He probably volunteered.
I'll be right, guys.
Y'all
you
go
know
ahead. I'm
Don't worry about
still on meth. I gotta calm down. I'm just gonna sit here and take some deep breaths.
No, it'd be like, it's all right, guys. I'm good. I still got John here with me. John? Who's John? John,
You said
right
John.
here.
The guy right next to me with the purple hair and the forearms.
Poor
Oh, no,
Aimo.
he's like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll just fight off some Wolverines again. He like points in the distance to a tree.
Wolverines aren't taking my food.
You got a knife with you? I need that knife.
Imo, that's a tree. I'm aware. Are you though?
Yeah, that was awesome, actually. I think he should go in a Hall of Fame somewhere if he's not already in one.
Guys,
He's in my Hall of Fame.
I am so surprised that I haven't seen any media about him. Like,
Yeah.
I found this by looking up random histories. I Googled that on Reddit, like random history shit. And I found it not in like a headline or anything. I found it in like these comment sections, 3 threads down. And like, hey, look at this guy named Aimo. I'm like, what is this? And yeah.
Meth Man.
Meth Man.
He gets his own movie.
They're making a meth bear thing. Why the not?
Cocaine Bear.
Oh,
Cocaine,
yeah.
cocaine.
It's Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine.
And I saw
Yeah.
the trailer for that, and it looks freaking hilarious. I don't know if it's supposed to be a comedy, but I'm going to laugh at it.
I think it's like a thriller, a comedic thriller, if you will.
Right.
But okay, friends. So our first of the ending last segments, if you will, we are bringing in a new one, which you've probably seen a similar theme on TikTok. But our title of it is Neanderthal. And it's essentially where we're going to pick random people or things in history that would probably blow their mind or send them into a coma.
Yeah.
Yep.
So our first one we're going to start with is the obvious Neanderthal. So
something that would throw Neanderthal into a coma just by seeing it. Like if they
Just
experience
in
it.
the
Like
modern
if they
day,
came to
whatever.
the modern day. Soda cans. The fact that you can open one and have a drinkable beverage, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
can throw
Yeah.
it down and have an explosive.
yes,
Like that, I think that would blow their mind. Like,
I think they'd love the latter.
and
bit
if
of
you
what it can do.
start with like the explosive, and then you get a second can, and you're like, now let me show you how to drink this. They're gonna be like, no, don't drink that. You just watch it explode, you'll die. And then you drink it, and they're like, what?
Wow.
It will kill you in due time, but
Eventually,
yeah, not initially. You'll be good.
but
Just
they
give
don't
them a
know
good
that
old
because
Dr.
they
Pepper.
had like a lifespan of like 30 years, so.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're like, you live to be 70 after drinking a bomb? Also a bomb? What is a bomb?
Oh man.
Or like a gun.
I-
Just a gun. Like,
Yeah.
I pull a trigger here and something over there dies. That blows his mind.
I mean, I don't think Neanderthals had bows and arrows, so that would probably blow their
No,
mind too.
they use rocks and like sharp
Yeah.
sticks.
There you go.
Yeah, they use the sheer force of their own physical
Their
ability.
methed out bodies. And skis.
Throw me, Bob. Just I'll grab the animal.
Tim, what do you think would send a Neanderthal into a coma?
Okay, I don't have one for a Neanderthal because that's brilliant. The soda can is brilliant, but I do have one for Lewis and Clark.
I mean, a Neanderthal would probably, whatever is going to blow Lewis and Clark's mind would probably also blow a Neanderthal's mind.
GPS.
Mm.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
how?
dude.
No. Here's how I imagine this in my brain, guys. They're done with their trip. They've gone all the way. They've endured thousands of miles across America's wilderness.
It'd be a really good commercial.
And I come back in through, and I come back in through a time machine. I go, guys, check this out. And it's a GPS, and it shows you where you're at on the map, and it will tell you where to go. And I just want to see the look on their faces because they're going to be both surprised and pissed.
I think there'd be a lot more than just the GPS that would need to go into play. We might have to throw a satellite up into the atmosphere, or not the atmosphere, into space
any
first.
Part of any of this would blow their minds.
Yeah,
all of it.
All of it. Just
turn
left
at the next tree.
Right. Watch Barnum.
Mine would, for a Neanderthal, would be pop rocks.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
That's a good one.
Nice.
They'd put it in their mouth to eat it as sustenance. Probably throw the paper and all, but I respect them for that.
Yeah.
And then it'd start popping.
They would freak out.
Wow.
And I think that'd be awesome.
Mm.
In probably a really bad way, but they won't die. It'll just
they don't know that though.
You know what? On the same note, what are those little firecrackers called that you throw on the ground and they
poppers?
Poppers, yeah. That'll blow their mind.
It's like if I throw a berry on the ground, it doesn't make that noise. But
Right.
if I throw this popper on the ground, it makes a terrifying noise.
Ooh, I imagine them trying to eat it though.
Which would be even worse. Not food. Not food.
They'd still keep trying.
And that kid's called evolution.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Speaking of which, fishing poles.
Mm.
Like if you hand a Neanderthal a fishing pole, they're like, first of all, there's animals down there that I can eat.
Right.
Secondly, I pull this little lever here and it reels it in, brings it to me. I don't have to go in the water to get it. Like that's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I think my other one would be lotion.
My skin is so soft.
George,
You're like, no calluses?
Wow. Yeah. That's a good point.
Love that.
Shoes.
Okay.
Anything. Everything.
Do you say juice?
Shoes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My feet
I mean,
don't
juice
hurt
might
anymore
also
when I walk over
blow
these
their
sharp
mind.
rocks.
Yeah. Your feet don't bleed anymore?
A ladder would do it.
Yeah. That's a simple thing.
Like you're telling me I can climb to that height on anything? I don't have to find a tree.
Right.
Like I can there's a rock wall that I've been wanting to get on top of, but it's too smooth. I can just lean this thing against it and climb to the top of it like that.
Wait. You're telling me You're telling me we don't have to climb on each other's shoulders anymore? We can just use this?
This is blowing my mind.
I imagine them also using it as a weapon.
A ladder?
Good for them. A ladder. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you just
they
hold
probably
it
just
and
start
run
swinging.
at whatever. Yeah.
Start knocking people out like bowling pins.
Spinning in a circle,
Right.
holding one rung of the ladder. You spin in a circle, it just takes out like 14 feet worth of whatever you're attacking.
My gosh.
That'd be awesome. Okay. Next up,
That's a fun
friends,
thought
we're going to
experiment.
move into... Oh, what'd you say?
I said that's a fun thought experiment. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we'll come up... I mean, not next up. Next time, we'll come up with like an actual person.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
Do
Now we're going to move into our fan questions. So this is the part of the show where we answer your questions. Easy enough. So
Not that
Chelsea,
complicated.
This one's better than the last one.
yeah,
It's you don't have to send
Yeah.
your children out.
No.
Not that it's a better question, you just don't have to send your children out.
We apologize yet again for...
I still don't.
I do.
it was a hoot, as the kids say. Chelsea asked us to talk about and discuss the pink tax.
Mm.
So,
Harley, you want to read this? Because
oh yeah,
This pertains to
absolutely,
you.
because this
Specifically
impacts
affects
me
you.
of all the people on this podcast. So researchers in gender inequality often point to what's known as the pink tax, which is a markup on goods and services marketed specifically towards women and for which men pay less for in similar products and services. So several years ago, the issue got a lot of attention when New York City's Department of Consumer Affairs found many instances of gendered pricing when it examined 794 products that were sold in the city for consumers of all ages. However, researchers have been noticing and analyzing this phenomenon since at least the 1990s.
Can you give us some examples of said products?
Yes. Any menstrual, what is that word? Menstrual product. Yeah. My brain just went flat.
Menstruation.
Tampons, pads, panty liners.
Yeah, those are all taxed at like luxury tax rates, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I don't know the exact percentage on which it is higher taxed, but considering that these are like kind of essential and we don't exactly have a choice on not to use them. I mean, there's alternatives. But you get it all the time, every month. Every woman or person with a uterus gets a period, and they are inevitable unless you have like a form of birth control. But even then, those are taxed, and half the time, insurance companies debate on whether or not they want to cover those kinds of things. But yeah, for something that I need, I really would prefer to not spend so much on. It's quite frustrating.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, the things that I've noticed too, what I've seen on the internet are things that like razors and how they'll brand, like if it's been a predominantly male product, but they solely made it for quote women, they would mark up the price. So like razors, like they would make it look more curvy and more quote feminine. Yeah, right. And they'll mark up the price for it, and but it goes vice versa too. But more cases than not, it's the other way around.
When it's just a basic markup, on average, it's 13% more.
Wow.
The luxury tax is 10% instead of whatever your state's tax is.
Isn't that just fantastic? Yeah, and that goes for like anything that's like feminine, I guess. Like you go buy, like Tim said, razors or like shampoo and conditioners, body washes that are like more feminine looking are just more expensive, even though it's like the same ounces per bottle. It's just more expensive.
Right.
And it's very frustrating.
Here we go.
I've also noticed that the
results
quality.
The results of the percentage-wise is like 7% more for toys and accessories, 4% more for children's clothing, 8% more for adult clothing, 13% for personal care, and 8% for senior home health care.
Wow.
Jesus.
Just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
I guess pink paint is more expensive than black.
Right. And half the time I've noticed that male products work better, which also sucks because if I'm paying more for something that's supposed to be for me, why is it not the best?
Yeah. Wow.
Especially like razors. Men's razors just seem to be more sharp. Men's deodorant just seems to work better. And it doesn't like hurt our underarms because I've noticed like a lot of women's deodorants like can cause rashes.
Yeah.
Recently, I think it came out that Dove deodorant, their specific one that I think has aluminum in it, which in general, aluminum in deodorant is bad for you. But their spray, like the spray kind of deodorant, a lot of women have been reporting developing, although they're benign, but they are still tumors and like tissue that is building up in their breasts and underarms because of, chemicals.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So very good.
Janelle just found a deodorant that she likes, that works, that she uses now as her deodorant. But up until like a few months ago, even, she was still like trying out different deodorants, trying to find one that works, that she likes, that isn't $1,000.
Yeah. I felt that one because I'm still in the process of like finding the deodorant because I've used from I try not to use any of like the aluminum kinds anymore.
Yeah.
But those are more expensive, even though they lack an ingredient, which is mind blowing. But even like some of the natural deodorants that I've used have caused like rashes and like burning under my arms. But that's just because of like, say you shave and your skin is very sensitive and then you put the deodorant on immediately after, it can cause like chemical burns. Even though it's not really chemical, it's just body reaction. So that kind of sucks. And it's very hard to find one that's, you know, still good and won't harm you.
Right.
Yeah.
Without paying a arm and a leg.
So you got to pay more for an inferior product.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Or you're using woman marketed products.
Mm-hmm.
In a culture and society where women are on average paid less than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
77 cents for every dollar.
It
Also
costs-
for doing the same jobs.
Right.
That is insane. Like, as a nation, we should just admit we hate women.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no maternal child.
None of this is about respect
No.
or protecting women or whatever have you. Whatever lies they say. Like, as a nation, we just need to straight up admit, right up front, we hate women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is astounding to me how the rest of the, quote, civilized First Nation countries, have at least solved some of these basic fundamental things, you know, healthcare and equal pay and all these other
maternity leave.
Right. These fundamental, like, oh, hey, we want to care for our citizens and make sure they don't all just die and like suffer because they have a kid. Like, let's take care of them for a little bit at least, and, you know, do simple basic things because, you know, we're all in this together because we're just humans. But yet we have allowed corporations and ourselves and politicians that are greedy to make the rules because of fear mongering.
Between that and the military, like, as a nation, we don't stand a chance. Because if you do provide basic health care and free college to people, what's the incentive to join the army?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Very true. It's frustrating just because I'm sure other women and people in general just don't see an end in sight or like a change happening anytime soon. It's just really frustrating and you can feel very helpless.
Yeah.
So you kind of just go through the motions anyways, because what other alternatives do we have?
That's why in 2028, I'm making my official announcement that I'll be running for president on a platform of feminism.
Hey.
Yes.
I will say this, though, Harley, to give you a little hope, because it gives me some hope. It's just, Gen Z is uniquely the generation who seems to not be, Gen Z and millennials who are not turning conservative as they get older, which is a trend that most generations have.
How could we? We have nothing to conserve.
Right.
We have no homes. We have no jobs. We have no savings. We have nothing to conserve. We cannot be conservative.
And I guess I should, I don't say that in the sense of like conservatism is bad as a thing, because there are conservative parties in other countries that are, you know, still hold on to these fundamental truths that we.
Well, our conservatives are far right in other countries, so that's fine.
Right. But my point is saying is that this coming generations, and I think this past election cycle has kind of proven like, hey, we're done with this shit.
We just need to make sure that they don't get tired of trying.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Voter burnout is a real issue.
Yeah.
And as long as we can keep that from happening, I think things like the pink tax and health care are going to be issues of the past.
Yep.
Hopefully sooner than later, but probably not for at least another 2 or 3 election cycles. If we make it that long as a country.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
Glee.
What a turn, guys.
So, to conclude, Chelsea, pink tax is BS.
It's the dumbest thing. It's so dumb.
Yep.
And I wish that people didn't think it was fake.
Yeah.
I don't think
'Cause
people
you-
think it's fake. I think they intentionally ignore it because they just don't want to deal with it, and they don't
Yeah.
care. It doesn't affect them, so
It
they
doesn't
don't
affect
care.
them. Yeah.
Or people are just like, we'll just make more money and it won't be a problem buying it.
When I was your age, I had a house and 2 cars and 3 kids, and we were paying all of our bills, and I was working at McDonald's. You just need to manage your money better. Sir, you and I are making the same amount of money right now. Like, the money that I'm making now, you made then, but everything was like half the price.
Yeah, inflation and all
If
that.
I could pay 50% of the cost for all of the things I buy right now and everything I pay for, I could also have a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
On that note.
We're coming up on Women's History Month.
Oh, yeah. And women's, our always more women's, whatever we're going to call it, episode.
Yes!
Still planning.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun.
Excited.
We still don't have an official title,
We'll get one.
but we're working on it.
We'll get one.
We're working on the most creative thing we can think of, and we're still getting there.
Yeah. We're trying to come up with a good, catchy name.
I
You
would help
know?
with that, but they kicked me out of the group chat, so.
Roman,
What group chat?
The group chat that I'm not a part of because you guys kicked me out.
I don't think you were ever in it in the first place.
See? Even worse. I knew there was a secret group chat.
all right, let's wrap this up, guys. Come on, Chris.
I was just trying to bait you into finding out about the secret group chat I'm not a part of.
And the group chat is me and Tira, which is not technically a group.
Whatever. I still want to be involved.
It is a duo. Dos.
Look, will I respond? No. But I would still like to be
Ever.
included.
Ever.
Don't even respond to me.
I don't
Chris
respond to the group
cannot.
chats I need to be in. I don't respond to group chats I've started. But I would still like to be involved.
I respect that. That's honest.
I got FOMO.
That's good. Relatable. Okay, friends. So, what are our final thoughts on today's episode?
Don't
Do
do meth.
meth.
Don't do meth. I knew you were
Do meth.
Those are two separate answers.
Don't.
Complete opposites.
Guys, it will mess you up.
Don't you think it'll mess you up?
Oh,
Where's the jar?
The jar. Fair enough. I'll put some money in the jar later. Don't worry.
History is fun. It can be fun. I think. Look, if there's one thing I wanted today to be, was fun, and I think we accomplished that.
I think we achieved that goal.
Yeah.
I think this story, and guys, I have so many more like it. So whenever we do these always more history, I'm excited because there's a lot of fun stuff that we just don't know about.
Wait till you guys find out about Ben Franklin's VD.
Oh. Okay then.
VD?
Venereal disease.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be a wild one, guys. Buckle up.
Ow. Okay.
You think our last fan question was intense? Wait till you hear what Ben Franklin used to do.
Jeez. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move
Founding
into our
father
closing.
indeed.
Let's get out of here. Stop, Chris, please.
I can't.
Chris, please help me.
can't stop.
So, please, what am I saying? That's it.
Close us out.
That's it. Sorry, guys.
We're all done.
Thank you guys for listening to our podcast. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, interact, follow us on social media. We got the Instagram, we got Facebook, we got TikTok, and
Twitter.
I think that's it. Oh, we have Twitter.
We're on Twitter now.
Oh, so fantastic. But yeah, and you can find us on all of those platforms at symbol always more pod. You got it? Tim, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Timothy Lichty and on TikTok at Tim Lichty.
Too easy. Chris, what about you?
I'm on Instagram as Captain _CT Ford. And on TikTok, I'm Christopher.Lionheart.
And on Instagram, you can find me at WUT Harley, what Harley, and on the Clock app at harleybean.co. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in to our wonderful history episode. Be sure to stick around for our next one. And remember, there is always more than this. Bye!
Bye.